All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another edition of the podcast. Man, I'm so excited for this. We get to see each other pretty often, but I never get to sit with you and hang out and really chop it up. So I don't even really care that this camera's here. It's just it's just nice to get to hang. And man, just thank you so much. What you've done for drag racing should not go unnoticed. And man, someone that you're willing to put all this effort into making sure other people have fun is, and I know that you have a good time too. You love being the man on the flashlight or the headlamp rather, but you should be so proud of that, man. Like your contribution to this community that we love. I want you to know it's not unnoticed from us, and
thank you.
It's beautiful, man. And I grew up watching you do that. I didn't street race. I was just a dumb radial racer. And but when we got Charlie done the first time, and we did go to War in the Woods, and you brought me in, man, it was awesome. I didn't even care if I won. I'm like, man, Limpy just brought me in and banged the headlight. It was awesome. So it was just such a bucket list thing for me. And I think you are that to a lot of people. You are the best human Christmas tree on the planet. There's often imitated, never duplicated. But yeah, from me and from us, all of us, thank you for doing that, dude.
No problem.
You're a legend. I know you don't feel like that, but you are. I'm just gonna give you some more compliments, then we'll get into it. But you literally, only thing you care about is drag race. I know you like street racing the best, but you have such passion for that you never you really didn't even capitalize on who you were because you just don't care. You just want people to have a good time, which is the world needs more Olympics, man.
Yeah, but don't overthink like I do nowadays.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
You're right. So, well, to get into it, and because I'm curious, what got you into racing at all? Why did you even...
I've always, my old man, but, I've always had a competitive itch, We've always got it, and just started at a young age, seeing my dad do it, and I wanted to do it, and then,
Did your dad street race, I guess?
Yeah, somewhat, but it was more, way back in the day. I was young, in the 70s and stuff. It was something we still do now, but wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't as big as mainstream as it is now. Just some dudes meeting up and then hanging out and then going racing.
You probably don't like that it's as mainstream as it is.
No. Now everybody's a street racer, since it's been on TV, but I'm still low key. I know it's still illegal. I don't like posting about it. I do go lives and stuff like that, but I don't go lives until we're actually doing it.
Yeah.
I don't make posts about it. We're going to go out in the streets and hit me up, blah, blah, blah. I don't need that attention.
Yeah.
Don't want it at all.
Yeah, you're fine if it's just the guys that are there racing and you. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's really probably how it should be.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Less collateral damage, so to speak, if something happens,
Yeah. Yeah, because you understand what could happen.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't sometimes. It's it's crazy.
You see people you see it on Facebook, people lining the streets up and stuff like that, and I'm like, everybody sees racing, all I see is dead people, that can happen. Anything can happen in a blink of an eye. That's why I don't even really like past 60 foot, but, I don't like them 60 foot past, I really don't like.
No, me neither. It gets really, gets really scary.
Track or street, either it could get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can break anything and, man, that car turn or whatever. And it happens so fast.
And you got to think about that, especially when you're flagging a race. You got to you got to have your head on a swivel.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the man in charge, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched you one time. People weren't listening at Brown County, and you just sat down. You're like, "All right, boys, we're just not going to race until you decide that you're going to listen to me."
Yeah.
I loved it. It was awesome.
You got to sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
So you got your first car, and then you just started street racing, or did you ever race on the track at all? I mean, I know you've been picking on Jeff for being Index Jeff, but
no, yeah, I got a car and was having fun. I started that, and then got had the wife and had a kid, and family was more important.
Yeah. And then when did you flag your first race?
Oh man, I have no idea. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's probably in the '80s.
Okay.
Maybe even probably early '80s. So I mean, that tell you how old I am.
Did you do it with a flashlight or was it
No,
arm
it was
drop?
arm drop. It was arm drop back then.
That's cool.
And it was, back then it was, if you had a trailer car, then you had to give up something. And it was either off an arm drop, off you had a links, or
Yeah.
it was heads up and you had to give something. You had to give the hit. And back then it was, it was just more fun back then.
It wasn't. My old man says the kind of the same thing. He grew up. My dad's in his 80s, and he raced he did street race. That's what he started out doing, and then he went to the local track, and back then he's driving his car to the racetrack, and he's like, it's just so much simpler, it's more fun, not near the stress level.
Oh yeah.
Now it's like, to your point, it's everybody's a street racer. I'm not. I'll be the first to tell you.
It's not for everybody. I mean, and it is to each their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I love about you. You definitely, us coming in from the background that we did, super accepting of us right away. And, I felt like I'd known you for a long time, and it was great. It was so cool. So you flagged in the 80s, and then you did your deal. And then from the 80s to early 2000s, it was really hot. You did a lot.
Yeah, it's this is probably late '90s. We were doing good, and then we're having fun on the street and stuff like that. And just became a father, not back in the mid '90s.
Yeah.
And so then I was having fun. I had a Mustang, still got this Mustang, and I blew a head gasket on the way at the track. Actually, I was on the way at the track, so I was on the way home. Drove it to the track, and they were out street racing on the way home. So I pulled in there and to one of the spots and just hanging out, letting the car cool off, and the cops showed up. So I was gotten back. So then on the way, when I got back home, I was going to do head gaskets, and then I was going to go. I was going to put a carburetor because it was a EFI at the time, and then I just did a whole bunch of stuff, and then I was like, well, and then my kid was going through private school, so I was like, well, we're gonna put her. Right, she went through private school her entire life, so, and then after she graduated, I'm like, well, now it's our time.
Yeah.
So. And just scrounging up money because we pretty much took everything out of it and started all back over. And
Yeah.
But
Which she graduated 09, 10, something?
No, 12, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so she's
been out of school for. She already went to her 10-year. So,
okay.
I mean,
been out. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you how old I am. So. She's married. She's been with her husband since they were in 8th grade, and
that's
same
cool.
background, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. So, while your kid was in school, you primarily just flagged, or you weren't a part of the scene at all?
No. I did pretty much the organization and setting up races, and I was the man behind the scenes, but I just never just wanted to, never wanted the credit or whatever. So I was more about the fun, the fun part of it. And then we went down to Houston like in '05, I think, or something like that, '04. And then they were doing it's on the streets, and there's like winter nationals or whatever, and they have winter national and summer nationals on the street, and basically it's like a cash days or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I implemented a bunch of that stuff and brought it back home, and kind of put my twist on it, and we started, cash days in '06.
So that was the OG. You went there, kind of took some ideas from that, and like, I'm gonna start this.
Yeah, and then, but I, I use security and stuff like that because my boys. I don't want my boys getting caught and stuff like that. So we that's how I had lookouts and radios and stuff like that. So
that's tight.
Yeah. So it's organized crime if you don't look at it, but but it is what it is. But it was fun. It was kind of you're dangerous. You're doing stuff illegal, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
A lot of sleepless nights, just like y'all racing and stuff. Sleepless nights, the same way.
Yeah, no different. Just
organizing and promoting, I guess. But we did. It was easier back then. I'd say, I call you, say, hey man, bring me 3 cars, and I call Happy, bring me 3 cars, or I call, somebody. If we just, you got 3 spots and we're all meeting here. It was a lot easier. Now everybody's got to we're not part of a team. We're separate,
Yeah.
It was a lot easier back then.
The first cash days was '05.
Early '06, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you just kept every year it was.
We did stuff. We did stuff locally and stuff like that, but it wasn't called cash days and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was more. Which we had the list and everything like that, and it was on the forums back in the day. You had the hidden forums, and
He's on AIM Messenger,
when life was simpler.
It's funny to think about that.
Yeah, and then you had a good bunch of guys and friends and coworkers actually, and and we'd all have fun on the weekends and come back to our 9 to 5s, or midnight to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
jobs.
That's cool. So cash days happens, and then really, you did that for. I mean, you've done that. You still do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the show got kind of involved, that's it changed really, right?
I had friends from the Brotherhood from California. He works on set out there, and he hit me up about, they're looking for to do a show and this and that and the other, and I worked for corporate America at the time, so I didn't, and for one thing, I don't know. To me, it was just I don't know if it's selling out, but I would call it giving away my secrets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and that's just, and I didn't want to. I said, I'm not interested because I'm not a real outgoing person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of quiet. And I said, well, y'all go up north there. I'm sure Justin and them guys would like to have you out there, and it took off. I'm happy for them.
That's wild. So that is wild.
Yeah. So I didn't want nothing, no part of it.
Yeah. Well, you were because they came and filmed the cash days with you.
Yeah.
But you were always never.
Yeah, they wanted me to get happy and jump and and I said no, that ain't me.
Yeah.
As long as I go down there and nobody wrecks and we got a winner, next pair.
That's so cool, man. That. I don't know if many people would stay as true to themselves as that. That's a really amazing quality to have.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
But so really when that when the show stuff took off, do you feel like that pushed out like the actual real straight racer to a degree?
Yeah, I think it. I think in the beginning it was for racing. It's for the guys that put the work in the streets, and then money took over.
Yeah.
And the sponsors and everything like that, and then it became. I call it a circus. I still even call it a circus. They when we were on set, they were trying to make us like, beef with each other, and it was like that. As I say, Kardashian it up, and we're not. We've known each other for a long time. We're buddies.
Yeah.
But we're racers, but we're still buddies. We're not talk trash and But some people get into that stuff. I just hooray for them. I'm just not a talker.
Yeah, you're a doer.
Yeah, I'm a listener. I sit around and listen.
You do listen a lot. Like that's one of the things I've really noticed about you. You definitely, if I'm at an event, I can definitely see you kick back a lot and kind of just watching it happen. And it seems like you really enjoy that, just to see it all, take it all in.
Yeah, it's memories too. So
yeah,
it's it's that they can't take the memories from you. That's for sure. Well, they can eventually, but
yeah. Well, and I think that's a lot of the stuff that people miss is like, it gets so competitive now that people sometimes I think they forget that we're just there to have a good time with our homies.
Yeah.
Like we're just there to, I want to win, right? I want to be competitive, all that stuff. But like, if things don't go our way, whatever, man. Like we're still getting to go drag racing with our friends. Like that's a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
It's cool. So you flagged, you've watched all this stuff change, but what's your favorite race you ever flagged? Like,
there was I can't remember which caches it was. It was in Fort Worth, and there was a car from Oklahoma. It was I can't remember. It was like I think it was from Tulsa, but it was like a coupe, like an old coupe style, like a 34 coupe or something like that. But it was it was a big nitrous car, and they wanted a buddy from West Texas who has the Stealth. It's a '67 Stealth Chevelle, and he's got he's been Pro Charger forever, but he has the Liberty.
Okay, that's tight.
And they wanted him, and they're like, "Oh, we want that car." And Buddy drive a car anywhere, and they wanted him. And we were on, I can say it now, Forum Raceway, in Fort Worth, and they got their wish. They actually ended up drawing each other.
Okay.
And he was talking smack. Buddy's a oil field guy from West Texas who just likes to have fun and don't talk. And he was like, well, Buddy hung the hoops. I think he'd come down in third gear. He was slapping gear and it come down. And before that dude, the race was over with in the 60 foot.
Yeah.
And they're like that. And them guys come back and they're like, oh, what happened? But Buddy was going on them. And, that I can remember that. But, anybody that races and doesn't wreck is a good one.
Yeah, that is a good day.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a really good day, especially on the street because you guys you gotta kind of try to clean it up yourself. Hopefully, nothing really bad happened.
Yeah, we were actually on the street, and a city cop pulled up. I won't say the city. But he was cool. He was actually one of our buddies that was racing. He has a shop, and the PD guy has a shop, has a hobby shop or whatever, down the road, and he knows the car. And he was like, all right, well, y'all don't wreck. Because I'm going to watch. So I'm like, yeah, I've heard this before. Well, they ended up racing, and it hurt. It was bad. It was horrible. Anything that could go wrong went wrong, and the dude that had the shop actually ended up rolling it, flipping it like 5 times. Took out a sign, a road sign in the center. He pulled out and went the opposite way. We had that car. We had him out. He had concussion. Came to, got him out, loaded the car up, swooped everything up in probably 10 minutes.
Years on it, just getting it done.
Yeah, because we already knew that they were rolling, and as we were rolling out, they were rolling in. So, but yeah, he come around. He still races. He don't race on the street anymore, but he races at the track.
Yeah, I think when we went to we had never been out to Oklahoma, but we went out for Armageddon, and after like going out, and then I went to Small Tire Gangsters and kind of got to drive around Texas, and like I understand why street racing is such an option there. Like there's so I mean it's crazy. It's like there's racetracks everywhere. Like we're like I mean you've been up here now quite a bit because you drive everywhere. You don't fly, and like man, like people ask me like, well, don't you have any good roads to test on? I'm like, no, dude. Like everything around here is curvy. And like if it's like there's a road out here that's nice, but it's so busy. Like you can't street race out there. Like there's nowhere for you to go. You know. So
and there's more people in this world now. So there's all hours of night. There's more people that are driving at night than there ever been. So,
yeah.
So there are people like me that don't sleep.
You still work second shift or third shift or?
No, I don't work no more.
Okay, you're just doing what we're doing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I get to live the dream.
That is. Sometimes it can be a nightmare, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, you're now like, I mean, gosh, you travel so much, and you have so many people that want you to flag and do stuff. Is that what you always wanted to do, or what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was still driving a truck and hauling cars or doing whatever and still doing this, I mean, I did have fun, but it became real hard.
Yeah.
To work and do this because I get done here and I got to drive all the way home just to be at work Monday morning. There's plenty of times I came home, changed clothes, and went straight to work after driving all night.
Yeah.
And then I drive all day. So I never see myself at this, but you know, it's my path, I guess. So
yeah,
what I'm supposed to do.
I definitely think it's your path, man. I mean, you're definitely amazing at it, and so you'll go this weekend is War in the Woods. So you go up there. Is that one of your favorite?
Yeah, I'd probably say it's probably one of my favorite events, just because it's different. It hits.
Yeah.
It's the vibe, and it's just I don't know how to explain it to somebody that never been there. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah, yeah. I think too. Like it's down in that valley, and like it's like the earth almost traps that energy down there. You know, we're all in there together, and there ain't nowhere else to go. Like it's just there. You know, it's cool. So if War in the Woods is at close to the top, we won't say it's your favorite, but close to the top. Do you have any other events that's up there for you?
I like going. I like going to Yellow Belly, just because of the atmosphere.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It's not for everybody, you know, but them people out there, I mean, they just if you had two guys racing on tricycles, they'd be out there watching and betting. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
the vibe out there is different as well, but it's a different vibe than like say War in the Woods and stuff like that. But it's still they're more authentic, I think, than because they're living it, through a cage because it looked like they're caged in. I mean, and they're all pumping and stuff like that.
Oh, people were excited down there for sure. Yeah, I really enjoyed, I was so bummed that we had that laser came, and we were just, man, we were so pressed on time. I really wanted to be there. I was still there, but it didn't have my race car, which is, yeah, it sucks. But I'm glad I got to make one pass down it, so I definitely want to come back.
What do you think about pulling into the water box?
It's different, man. It's you definitely, when they were backing me up, I'm like, because you lose perspective, because like that tree is right there, like they have that trough kind of for the water. I mean, they've done everything they can do to kind of keep it contained, but yeah, and then you got like, I've never seen the lights flicker more than there. I mean, there's just people everywhere. Like they don't care.
In the beams and stuff.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of, you kind of got to really be mentally sharp to understand what's happening. And like when you're rolling into the beam, you can't see the guy next to you. And like, I definitely think in that atmosphere, like you're going around with your pat my crotch, but that it felt like South Park. You're up there telling them that the tree took your job. But for the atmosphere, I think that what you do is really probably simpler to understand, just because like, I come from the track, so I am used to a tree, but just with all the lights flickering and all this stuff, I can't see the other guy. Like, I think I would.
You see a top bulb come on, you think he's already pre-staged.
Yeah, and then I can, thankfully nitrous car, you're like whatever, but you could really screw a turbo guy.
Yeah.
It could happen fast. And then you got like, well, what if the car leaves and then someone steps in the beam, and then you got all these scenarios that it's wild, man. And when I got there, I'm like, I don't know if this because the barbed wire is neutral barbed wire. Mm-hmm. It's straight up. So it's like, are they trying to keep people in, or are they trying to keep people out? We don't know. It's just straight up.
Both of them.
Yeah, except both of them. Yeah, it was, but the vibe is cool, man. Like I've definitely, I grew up doing the NHRA stuff with my dad, and I've definitely enjoyed going to a lot of these smaller facilities and seeing the country that way. Like the NHRA stuff or big track stuff, it's just so polished. That like for me, even like an MPK race, like that doesn't feel polished to me. Where I'm sure for you that feels super polished because of your background, right? But yeah, I love it. It's a great time for drag racing because a lot of these smaller facilities are now able to make money, because that's what's cool right now. And you should be proud, because you had, whether you want to give yourself credit or not, like you had something to do with that, man.
Wow.
You absolutely did. You people imitate you, bro. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. You are, yeah, that's crazy. Wait, you agree, right? The peanut gallery agrees. Yeah,
I don't know why they want to do that. That's, I don't know.
It's just funny to think about. So, all right. So you like Yellow Belly, you like Brown County. You got anywhere else you like?
Believe it or not, I went to Utah this beginning of the month, and it's pretty up there, real pretty.
Yeah,
mountains still had snow on the peaks, and I don't remember how I came, but it was, the drive up there was horrible. Not horrible, but long. It was real long. It was like 19 hours.
Yeah.
And but I went through Vail, I think, and there's still peaks and stuff and snow on the peaks, and it's real pretty. But the track up there is, I guess it's on Indian, or there's a reservation nearby or something like that. So, but the track up there, it don't have guardrails. It has y'all think it has pipe.
Okay.
Like the cattle guard pipe.
Yeah.
But it goes all the way down, and it's 3 layers. So it's basically like a wall, but it's designed to where it kind of like absorbs it and it pushes you back.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I got to see it happening firsthand, and it did.
It worked.
Tough, yeah.
That's cool.
And it didn't really, a barrier will kind of like just store everything. This one didn't. It kind of absorbed it, and then it pushed it back. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably cheaper than concrete walls, too.
Yeah. I just had the pipe and the weld it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
we should talk to Jeff about that.
Yeah, but it was there's nothing up there to stop the wind, so it does get windy up there.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was kind of chilly, but it was pretty scenery up there.
That's cool. Lie. What? How come you don't fly? You just don't want to get on a plane?
I don't mind flying at all. It's the process of getting on the plane that I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, and I just take your shoes off. You know, and I'm a big guy. You know, stand here, open your arms up. You know.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I'll just get
raise your beard up. Yeah.
Yeah, Utah though, Limpy, that's pretty far, man. I mean,
yeah, it was a good haul. It was a haul.
We'll know when you've really made it. You get your own, like helicopter, your Limpy copter.
Yeah, I go to a deal out in Arizona called the Get Down, and it's at a like an old airport that they run at, but for like it's not like a big airport. It's like for crop dusting, and that's a pretty good time out there. Nate and everybody went out there. They run it, and then after shutdown, it's kind of rough and stuff like that. So, but and you gotta be on your toes.
Yeah.
And but it's pretty good. It's a good time out there as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So have you really enjoyed just traveling and seeing more of the country?
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was a lot younger, I used to do over the road stuff. So I was gone during the week and then home on the weekends, and I got to see a lot of the stuff like that. But when you're working on the road, you don't get to stop and see nothing.
Yeah.
You just get to see it with your eyes. Which I'm a people watcher. I'm an observer. Like when I'm driving, like on the way here, we come. I don't know, some back road. I thought he was bringing me somewhere to kill me. But it's pretty scenery out there, and I'm just out looking around looking at all the houses and the land and stuff like that.
Yeah,
pretty country up here.
It's probably harder to do that in a truck because it's you have to stay on the main roads. And, yeah. How long were you a truck driver?
35 years.
Oh wow! So when that was what you did until you do this full time?
Yeah, roughly, or not 35, but 30 something.
Yeah, man, wow,
yeah.
That's cool. Do you miss that at all?
Not one bit. Not one bit.
Yeah. No, anytime we're driving, man, and we stop at the truck stop, and I mean, gosh, it seems tough not being able to see your family as much, and stuff like that.
And I still have my CDL and everything, but
yeah,
I don't miss it. I was talking to a wife on the way here, and I was like, oh, there's a scales. I said, I sure don't miss that.
Yeah.
And she goes, nope.
How long you and your wife been together?
We got married in 95.
Okay.
Yeah, 95.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So obviously she likes racing too.
Nah,
or she tolerates it.
Yeah. Everybody asks how do y'all had a good relationship for so long and this and that. Opposite schedules. I've had opposite schedules. We've had opposite schedules our entire lives.
Yeah.
So, we get to see each other. Used to see each other on the weekends, and if I wasn't out racing, because I'd work, 80, 100 hours during the week, and then I work on the weekends,
Yeah.
20 hours on the weekends in the street stuff, and back at it again, But she'd work weekends as well, so sometimes she was a manager at a restaurant, and I would go up there on Saturdays and eat lunch or whatever and hang out. Yeah.
Did you guys always live in Texas?
Mm-hmm. She's originally from South Texas, like almost Mexico.
Okay.
And she moved up here when she was 13, and we met because she lived next door. When I moved back with my dad and my stepmom, they lived in where we live now, and she moved next door. So,
all right,
I married the girl next door.
That's cool, man. Yep. Heck yeah. So now, when you got started in street racing to where we're at today, What was your favorite time period, do you think?
It's beginning. It's a lot simpler.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays you got to jump through hoops. Just and everybody's a critic. This world is. If there was a few less critics, then we would be
all right.
We would be a whole lot happier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes like people are. Me and Rick just had this talk over the weekend, which this video come out after the video that's about to drop tonight. But we were standing on the racetrack, and it's like, man, I want to be a man that's in the arena, right? Like the man in the arena, we're doing it, right? Like then there's people that are outside of the arena that are telling the people in the arena how to do it, but they're never going to jump into the arena, I don't want that for my life. I want to be in there mixing it up with people that I like and, cutting up. And like you said, like we're all friends, or we should be. If we're not, like, maybe that person's not great for the sport anyway. If we can't all get along and laugh and then, go into the beams and, want to cut each other's head off, that's what I want, right? Yeah. And then at the end of it, whatever happened, you're still my homie, like that's when it's fun.
It's what it should be about. And it should always be about fun, but some people, it's a job to them now. So
yeah,
some people would rather have their job than friendship. It is what it is.
Yeah. What's your favorite power adder? What do you like the best?
I mean, I've always been a nitrous guy. I've been a nitrous guy. I've had 2 different kits on my Mustang at one time, but the new Mustangs are they're turbos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nitrous stuff does so.
Yeah. Well, now you can run both of them.
yeah. We need more than that, Limpy.
Yeah. I'm still a nitrous guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are nitrous people at heart, but then they just see the reality of like
plugs, fuel, gas.
Oh, dude, we got the car out 2 weeks ago. It ran really good on Friday night, and then we had an electrical issue, burned it up on Saturday, needed 4 pistons. We worked for 2 weeks to get that thing back together. Then we get to Shady Side, and we made 6 passes in one day in 6 hours, and just plugs out every time. Like, and you're like, me and Brad are sweating, dude, like just dying. And you look at the turbo guys, they got their feet up, over there hanging out.
I don't have time.
Like, we're doing this wrong. This is not the easy way to do it.
Or if they're not doing that, they're inside the motor coach in the AC looking at the laptop.
Yeah. You're like, we're screwing up, man.
Man, it has changed over the years. I mean, nowadays you just don't see. Back in the day, you couldn't out-mile power a turbo car. Just could not. But nowadays, you see some nitrous cars out-mile power in turbo cars.
Yeah. That did not happen to us this weekend. But
y'all look like y'all were rolling, and then like something happened in like the 400 foot, 400.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you that something happened. It just ran out. I mean, when we get done, I'll tell you how much mile an hour we're in. But it's a lot of mile an hour for a nitrous car. It's just that surface that is prepped so, and it was so sticky to 330 foot that we couldn't. We've been faster to 330 on no prep than that because it had so much glue on it.
I'm about to say, was it wad in the tires?
It was pissed, and then we ended up. We were going up in air pressure, and it just did not like it, so we ended up going down lower than we normally run it and wadding the tire up harder to make it make wheel speed. And then that's when it was finally happy. So I think, but we didn't do that till the last test session. Yeah. So I think if we would have got a hold of that earlier, we could have done a little better. But yeah, it's definitely, but yeah, whatever it is, what it is. You lose some, you win some.
I mean, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield.
That's right, brother. Yeah, but no, I've enjoyed. Like we had turbo stuff before this, and I think being a nitrous racer makes you a better racer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then if you go back to something else, you can definitely apply, what you've learned and all that stuff. And that's what I like. I like, some weekends, man, it could just be our crew there and we could just test, and I'm cool with that. Like trying to get the car to go a better number, that's fun. So, yeah. What's so we talked about your favorite race. You said it was those two guys, the guys yanking the wheel on the street. What's one of your favorite races at the track?
Man, and that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
You've watched some pretty epic battles over the years.
Yeah, the Jasper and the Kelly and Nate race was, I mean, the ending to that was just phenomenal, and Matt on the big end just killed it. But the weight of, because it took him, and Matt's usually read on it pretty good, but it took him a few minutes to see who won. But I mean, it was within a few inches.
Yeah,
that's how close it was. But and that's another reason why Warren Woods is good. The suspense, and you see these. I'll get it. That's a different thing. But anyway,
you can say whatever you want on here, buddy.
But the going back and forth and who won and this and that, and you could just feel the tension in the air. And then when he finally made the call, and the place erupted. It was like, they'd won the Super Bowl or whatever. But so these guys are doing the lights. You're going off the tree, and then you're turning around hitting the headlamp, and you got a wind light at the finish line. That's all fun and games, but you lose the attraction of what racing is about off a headlamp.
Yeah.
You got, they're starting, but when they run, you turn around, oh, left lane one. All right, who's next? That's the suspense is over with, just like as soon as you see the light.
Yeah.
So if there's no light, then you got a second to think about it. You grab people's attention.
Yeah, agreed.
Like that. But if you use a light down there for then it is what it is.
Well, and I have noticed and sometimes people hate on it, but it's true. It's like when you guys race, if you're the one that's kind of in charge of stuff, you really take time to enjoy the moment, right? Like each race has its moment of all right, these two cars are going down. I'm putting them on the headlamp. And to your point, we don't know who wins yet. The guy's got a radio up. It's this whole moment. And then once that moment is tied up into a bow and it's done, we go to the next moment. Where typically on a track, it's just get them down as fast as we can.
It's like production.
Yeah, let's get this done. Where you obviously don't like that. And honestly, me sitting here, I actually thought that I liked the wind light. But after you did that and I got the world around in my brain a little bit, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I like the wind light, because it is that it's cooler that way. That suspense of waiting, and every once in a while we have to rerun something, which is just the nature of.
And as fast as cars are going nowadays, I mean, he's got all these high speed cameras and stuff like that. But I mean, we're still doing stuff off a cell phone, and one frame, he's filming in. What is it, 512 frames per second, and I think it's 512. Anyway, whatever, 420.
120.
No.
Higher than that?
Yeah, it's Android. It's Android people. Android.
We don't know nothing about Android.
iPhones will eventually catch up to Android's video quality. But yeah, when you scrub it, you get 956 frames, I think. But even like that, their cars are moving so fast that they're like a foot from the line, and the next frame, they're right at the line. I mean, so they're moving that fast, even frame by frame.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
tough to make a call.
Yeah. But, you know, when you're making a call like that, then, you know, there's some coin on the line. You got to make the right coin. And that's why I've always been transparent. I'll show you. You know, if you tire crack, if you jump before the light, I'll show you. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. I've trained myself to see this, and you know, your eyes will see what it wants to see.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's blatant, you know, it is. But I'll show anybody that, you know. I know some people like charging for, you know, add to the pot, which I don't have a problem with that. But you know, we've been doing what we've been doing for a long time, and we've kind of, I guess, crafted our work.
No, I mean, just as me as a spectator, not even a racer, like, I get irritated when people argue with you. I'm like, listen, man.
I don't have a problem with them. You know, I'm competitive.
Yeah.
It's a competitive deal. But when I'm showing you and you can't see it, it might be just a flicker, because you got to look at the light and then you got to look at the tire.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes if you're looking for something, your eyes will eventually see what you're wanting to see.
Yeah.
But if you go in it, you don't care either way, then you'll see what you're actually looking at.
Yeah. No, you do a great job of that, of being fair.
I try to.
Yeah,
but we're all human, so we make mistakes.
Well, and back to the point of like that art of that moment, like you're the one that's controlling the moment. So whatever you say, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like if you're like, man, the sky's green. Well, you're the director of the deal. All right, Limpy, the sky's green, bro. Like, it don't matter. You know, like, you're the one that's making the call. I feel like us as racers, we should respect the person making the call, because we have decided to come there to race. Yeah. And we knew who was flagging. We knew the rules of the engagement before we even started. Mm-hmm. And you, in that moment, you're a dictator, in my opinion. And whatever the dictator says, that's what it is, man. You know, like, we agreed to the rules when we came through the gate.
Yeah, I agree too. Just like if something happens to me during the race, you know, I know what I signed up for.
Yeah.
Know? And, you know, it's just the way it is.
What's the closest? Has anybody hit you?
Yeah, I've been hit.
How many times have you been hit?
I've been hit one. I've been hip checked actually a couple of times.
Like the back of the car?
I got squirrely and hip checked me. I've had collectors fall off or flew off and hit me. Actually broke my foot. And I've been boosted back into me one time, but that's my fault for not paying attention where he was. I had somebody talking to me, and they were talking like that, and he luckily had the slicks on because it rolled over the back of my heel, and it was soft.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And I was like, all right, good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, been burned. Candles lit, go right by me.
Yeah, the right street, man. Someone's got one wicked up.
I've been, there's a road up in, there's two roads up where Nate and them were from, called the Foo. It's old legendary spot. It's up in where I think they make walnuts up there. And the road is like, it's a farm to market road. It's like some of the country roads out here. And they race on that thing, and you ain't got much room and I'm standing in the middle flagging them, and oh boy, caught my shorts on fire.
No way.
I had like some fuzzy stuff hanging, and it was like, I feel it. And there's another road out in Kingman, Arizona. It's an OG spot out there, and it's real narrow. But got hip check out there, I think, if I remember right. Yeah. That's pretty. That Kingman spot out there, there's actually there's a YouTube video of like some abandoned houses they were building a subdivision or something out there. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. But you can look out there. There's some like old abandoned houses that are going to do stuff like that, and that's where they race out there.
Okay.
But there's the subdivision. There's I guess town or whatever that people go through, and the people that live there don't say nothing. They just let them through, and they just race.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. the sheriff's come out there before, and he was all like, because there was a squatter out there that was living in one of them houses, and then he called the police, and the sheriff's all like, come out there. Everything good? Yeah, we're good. All right.
See ya. Yeah. So what is your favorite road to race on? If you had to pick, if you're like, this is the only road that I can race on for the rest of my life, what road would it be?
We had, back in the day, you can't race on it no more, but they've got 9 speed bumps on it now. And they saw cut and did enter, but for them back in the day was, it was South Fort Worth. It was the day. If you see any of the old Cash Days videos, if you see where we're standing, there's like a building over here and a little small building over here. That's for any of the early 2006s and 7s were there. We raced there for about 10 years. Wow! And I mean, I'm kind of glad they put the speed bumps in. That the people, the kids nowadays, you know, run it for everybody. So doing donuts and stuff in the fields and stuff like that, and business owners got tired of it. So but it was getting too short for as fast as we were running, and because it was downhill, the shutdown was headed downhill. So, but that was a good time. I mean,
and it probably had a bunch of rubber down, but
yeah. We have several spots that are like that, but that was a good time. That was the good days.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. So with your everything that you're doing now, what do you look to do in the future? Do you kind of the same thing, or do you have anything that you want to do different, or anything that's on the horizon that you're happy about? Or
I wanting to do some more street stuff back home or around. If I'm out traveling somewhere and we go somewhere, or like say like we're doing a race here this weekend. If somebody like they want to do something like Thursday night meet up or whatever, you know, some people don't want to take a chance on breaking their stuff, but you know, there's some idiots like most of us out there that would take a chance.
Yeah.
You know, it's $50,000 on the line. Street racing. Yeah, we'll do both. You know, but yeah, that stuff. Get a car going. We'll have some fun too. Just take my mile cruising.
What's left under your car?
I don't know. It's been that Robert knows that Motel Performances for a while. Just ran out of money.
Yeah. Well, the community needs to pay you more so that you can get your car done.
It'll get done eventually. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, it's because you really love just being on the starting line and watching it all happen.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. You know, wherever you go out throughout the country, you know, there's no matter where you go, there's different people, but it's the same attitude, and you know that's the cool thing.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of times you'll hear people who are like, I don't really like people, and it's like, well, you're really lying. You just want to be around people that think the same way that you do, and that you can relate to, right? And I think that's one of the amazing things about the community of people that we get to hang out with. Like, that's why we like them, because we're all like-minded. When you say something, they understand. You know, they'll look at you, look at you with three heads because you have a 4-door Malibu with a nitrous engine, and you're like, that makes sense to you. Like, we should do that. But for the rest of the world, you're like, you have how much money in a 4-door Malibu? You don't understand how cool it is.
Yeah, and you know, people nowadays aren't built like some people are. Like, I know when I'm just one of the guys, when I do something, I'm 110% in. It don't matter what it is. That my life, street stuff, you know, that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Just excuse me, I'm balls deep. No matter what and I'm in, 110% through everything.
It's cool.
That's just the way I've always been. I don't let shit bother me.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, you're right. You can't. All right. So what's your opinion on, you do not like index racing. You're not into the whole thing.
That's not really, I don't like index racing, but.
Yeah, what's your opinion on current affairs?
You can't be a gangster if you're limited to a time. There, I said it. Feel better. Feel better, man. Feel better. You know, it's. I don't know. That's just the way I feel. I mean, I and there's a lot of people that can make money off of it, and that's fine. That's just not me. I've always been a heads up type of guy. I know it's heads up index style racing, but I'm just the type of guy, I want to see who's the baddest guy on the property for that class that day.
Yeah. So you don't mind though, like if they break it up into those like rules, like True Street's over here, this is here, so that still work out where cars are together. You don't like index races.
No, not really. I know they have their concept for it and this and that. I mean, which is fine, but I don't like you being limited on stuff.
Yeah,
like I like most of them guys that raced this weekend in the 530 class. I mean, Mikey went down there from Texas and he ran 530 and 490s. So yeah. I mean, I know it's faster, but that's his niche. And he's good at it. He's won a lot of money doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. And nothing against people that like it.
Yeah.
That's just not mine. It's just not mine.
Not your cup of tea.
No. I want to see people let them hang.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think it's like, I love the competition of just trying to figure it out. Like it a lot of times people think that radial stuff and no prep is so different. Then it's not. Like, you're still trying to figure out the surface, right? You're like, the surface in radial is good, it's better, right? But, it still has its quirks. It's better at certain times of the day, stuff like that. But, yeah, we're all just trying to figure out who the fastest is on that given day, and I like that. I think sometimes we've made drag racing too complicated.
Yeah, and I've had... I had my own rules back in the 90s, and they were pretty much, steel roof and quarters, door car, VIN, and, it couldn't be no more than 30 inches tall, 11.5 inches of tread width.
That was it?
No, and tape measure doesn't lie, So,
yeah. And
it's been, now we're switching pretty much to everything to 28s now, just because, you can't get tires like, people ain't rich like they, you could run different tires and stuff like that, but, we're just switched to 28, so everybody's all on the same tire. And, but, I still have the same rules. It's the same rules that I've had for 30 years.
What is a small tire to you then?
29.5.
29 is, yeah.
Non-W.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's like you get on this side of the Mississippi and it's like, 29 is a big tire.
I mean, and because we didn't have really much Mustangs back in the day. We had, Novas and, something that could tuck a wheel under it.
Yeah.
People would do 29.5s. They would push whatever they can underneath it. And so it was 29.5s.
So you blame the Mustangs for the 28s?
Yeah. I've got two of them motherfuckers.
Really, it's a Mustang small, yeah.
Yeah. But now, it just like everything, I believe everything is everybody can complain about chassis cars and this and that. I mean, to me, it's still the tire is the equalizer. No matter if it's a 29.5 or 28, 26, the tire is the equalizer. I mean, you can only go so fast on a tire.
Yeah.
So,
what's been like as this deal has evolved? What's something that's impressed you the most, or did like
or I could say it a little easier. Like, did you ever think that it would get to this speed?
No. Well, I kind of did. I knew I knew stuff was evolving, but it kind of evolved really quick. People figuring out bad surfaces, and Jeff with the long travels and figuring stuff out, and people with the tuning abilities and stuff. I mean, it's just everything over the last, I would say, 8 years is totally different than what it was, 8 years ago. And then from 8 years to 12 years is totally different. But you could see the change, but it's just like everything happened overnight, And, 3 or 4 years ago, you had, say, 10 guys that was all over the country that was, legit. And now you got, 100 guys all over the country that are legit because everybody's learning.
Yeah.
And, technology, they're learning technology, and technology is actually, I don't know, it helped and it hurt the sport, so.
No, I agree with that. What do you think about, like, I'll see people that they want to take electronics away. What do you think about that? Like, they're trying to even the field back out.
It's a lot of stuff to police.
Yeah.
I went to, I think we went to a race, and went to a street race in the Chicago area, or wherever they raced up there, west of the Chicago. They had, I think you couldn't have no override button or something like that.
Okay.
Just tune it, and you had to take your override button out, something like that. I can't remember, but it was something different.
Yeah.
Something different. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And down south of where I am at, they have actually they have that god-awful tree on the streets. Because apparently flagging a race on the street is real difficult down there. I guess nobody knows how to, sit there with a light or whatever, but they have to have a tree. But they have index races.
On the street.
They got to have a draggy. So if you run and you got a finish line guy that calls the race, and you can't, you can't sandbag is what the deal is. But you got to have, he can't hear you. You can't hear, the finish line got to hear you go all the way through before you get off the gas. And they do like 6.0s and 6.50s and 7.0s. And,
Man, that's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, I'm like, just run heads up and see what.
Yeah. What I think too, you just can't you just can't put it back in the bottle. Like once it's out, it's out, and the technology and all the different electronics and stuff. It's, if you want to race at this level, you either got to figure it out or you got to pay someone to help you figure it out. There's no going back now.
Yeah. And Tom out here, or y'all know him as Jimmy, when we used to be running and stuff, he was a little snot-nosed kid. He's still a snot-nosed kid. Right? Oh, snot. But we'd have several spots that we'd run at, and they would go spot to spot till they found it, and then we couldn't lose them. But and then him since he was young. He's still young, but I've known him since he was young.
Yeah, little kid.
Yeah. They had like 15 or 14 or something like that.
That's cool. What's some of the people that you've been doing it with the longest?
Probably my buddy, I haven't talked to him in a while, but my buddy Jerry that does rear ends. He builds with Keith Engineering, or when I can't remember. He changed his last name. He was adopted, so he changed. I can't remember. Gardner. Garden. But he builds rear ends. He does rear ends and stuff. He built one of the rear ends of my car, and he helped me because he's a computer nerd.
Okay.
And he'd help me get the website going and stuff like that, and DFWSS, and we had the hidden stuff, and he actually flagged a few races, cash days, back in the early days, I would run the finish line. Sometimes I had, security guys that would call in sick, I guess,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've done security. I've done everything for the streets. Tire crack, finish line, start, finish, security, everything. If it helps the cause, and I'm down.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm 1,000 miles away from home. It helps the streets out, and I'm down.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, then you're a member of the Brotherhood of Street Racing, right? That's a big deal too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, and Fabian is one of the guys that originally he works for the TV Paramount or whatever that they do the Hollywood stuff up there. And he was the one that came to me about the show originally, and I was like, no, I went. But yeah, he's real high up in the Brotherhood. And
so he was in their studio and knew that they were looking for this, and that he approached.
I think they were asking, the car scene out there and this and that and the other, and they pretty much kept up with what I was doing at the time.
Yeah,
and keeping people safe and watching everybody's backs, and I was a one-man show at the time. To get street racing, to me, I didn't trust nobody. Barely trust my old lady. I find tell her nothing.
Yeah.
Until we're doing it. But go out scouting. We didn't have Google Maps back then. Go get a road. You got to go out and look at it. You had to go out and sit on it. You had to do everything. Yeah. But now if you find a road, you just got to go out and check it out and see where the cops are, and and go out and sit on it and stuff like that. But see what traffic looks like at night. But
that's a lot of work, Limpy.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot back then. You had cell phones, but you didn't have apps and all that stuff. You had to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, get out there and go to work.
But put that work in.
Yeah.
So I said, not a lot of people were built like me. So, there's a few out there, but you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You got your buddies' lives and stuff on the line. So, and as a bystander, I know shit happens, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you want to do everything you can to keep that from happening.
It's called preventative maintenance.
Yeah,
I call it. Well, you got to make sure that all your P's and Q's are crossed.
Yeah.
S and T's are.
What's do you have any favorite things that are like people that are coming up in the scene that you like, or what?
Random Prestons are they're
hard to beat.
Yeah. And the problem is we're back to that technology again.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it on backside. They're doing it on front side. They're doing it on radials. They're doing it on slicks. I mean, that they've got everything. And data is it could be your enemy, but it's definitely helping you.
Yeah.
And as much data as they've got, I mean, and the combos and look at their camp. I mean, how much data each car got. So
yeah, that's a lot to.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they got stuff figured out.
Yeah, and for me, I know them. I actually probably should have them on for a podcast. That'd be a pretty good one. I like this weekend going Shayside. It was cool to see, Ryan Mitchell do what he did because that dude started street racing. He doesn't have that racing for championship background. He just a guy that continually figured it out. And he's doing it with a cast big block, which that's pretty impressive. Like in the land of billet, the man's doing it with a cast big block.
I've known Ryan for a long time. I've known when Ryan he was a sore loser.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but you know. If he lost, he'd take his car home and he would come back and he would, but I think Megan has kind of helped him out. He came along and he's Ron's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah, he is.
Real intelligent, and I wish nothing but best for them. I mean, he's got to figure it out for sure. And, you know, he's probably got as much data on his car as they've got.
Yeah, agreed.
On all their cars combined.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because, I mean, he's had that car forever. I mean, I know it's not the same car now, but, I mean, it's basically is, but.
Yeah, it just evolved over years.
I mean, he's got stuff figured out for sure.
Yeah, very good at what he does.
And he can go to any combination too. So
yeah,
and that's what killer about him too.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I like Todd Spears too. I like watching Todd.
Todd's pretty. Yeah, and Todd's another guy that got stuff figured out.
Yeah,
and we were talking about that last night on our podcast. That there's very few guys that you see that always got a smile on their face. And was you and Todd.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Todd.
Yeah.
Me and him got to talk, like kind of privately one time. We were at Armageddon, and yeah, man, I really, it was a great talk. You know,
good deal.
Yeah, I really like Todd a lot, and yeah, there's so many. It's cool, like when we get to take, you know, to your point, like to them. I always thought that you thought the way that you do. It's nice to hear it, because you enjoy these moments so much, and you just like to help facilitate them, and then watch people kick it and hang. You know, which is really like that's kind of the meaning of life, really. You know, like we just want to have these beautiful moments with friends, and like, you know. For me, one of the things, like I know it went kind of to the TV thing for a little bit, but now like watching YouTube evolve and you get to see all these different people making these memories, you know, like it's really cool that we have all that, you know, like I'm sure you kind of think back to when you guys were doing it in the streets a long time ago, like you probably wish you could have some of that footage just to kind of go back and live, you know?
I do. I got a YouTube channel, and back in the day what was funny was I'd always have a camcorder.
Okay.
I mean, footage back then, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Looked like a potato film.
But everybody asked me, it's like, why are you always doing that? I said, you know, for memories, for one. I said, but, you know, to see how far we've come. You know, so it's a pretty good time.
That's cool.
It's a good time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, last night we went over to a friend's house, so they have a little speed shop, and you know, Tom's here and Barrett's here, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we got all of Texas here today. And but anyway, Cowboy, I love Cowboy. You know, he's my favorite person of the crew. Sorry everybody else, but I love Cowboy. And we went over to their house, and they have a pond to fish in, and me and Cowboy, my daughter Isaiah, went down. And, you know, Isaiah and Cowboy were fishing on this, you know, on the dock. And, you know, Tom walked down, and, man, what a beautiful life that we get to live. Mm-hmm. You know, of traveling with people and meeting all these people. You know, I feel very much like you can go anywhere in the country, and if we break down, we could find someone to come get us within about 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, which is...
That's happened to me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, you know, and I think you're very conscious of that, where, you know, I hope if you watch this that you can see, like, it is about the racing, but it's so much more.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. It's the smiles and the family atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, like this weekend, Adam's son, his name's Mac, Adam Preston, he came down and he likes Charlie Brown. So Adam put his son in our car, you know, took a picture of him. And I'm like, man, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like that vibe, that's cool. You know what I mean? That we're all getting along. Like, you know, it's a great thing, you know, and I just want more of that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it's cool. It's cool.
Does Limpy have any closing thoughts?
No.
No.
Wait, listen anyway.
No, I bet.
No, wait.
All right, let me tell you this. you need to know that people care what you say and think a lot more than you give yourself credit for. So you should use your voice a bit more because people need to hear it. And you're definitely more of a captain of this ship than you give yourself credit for.
I don't know. This captain usually steers us in the ditch all the time.
Well, that's all right. At least we're in the ditch together.
Yeah. You gotta find people. Quit taking life so serious. You gotta have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, in every aspect. Having a great time, man. Yeah, I like to. Yeah, we're there to have a great time, regardless of the outcome. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you. You didn't have to come down to do this, but I'm really appreciative that you did.
I'm appreciative of y'all.
Yeah, it's fun to get that out with you. So if you haven't, please go to Limpy stuff, subscribe to all of his channels. He does like 15 live feeds throughout the week. He's on every Oprah show you can imagine.
I've been on the island.
They've been begging him though. But yeah, from the drag racing community to you, thank you for putting in so much work.
Thank them.
Yeah.
Y'all.
So, all right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next time. See you.